Imagine this. One day you wake up in a giant library, endless shelves, millions of books. Every single book tells the story of a human life. Some books are adventures, some are tragedies, some are forgotten before they even begin. Then, you find a book with your name on it, you open it, and suddenly you realize the pages are still blank because your life is not something you find, it's something you write. The book of your life. Every person you pass on the street is carrying a story filled with victories, heartbreak, fear, hope, and dreams they never told anyone about. But here's the strange part. Most people live like they are background characters in their own book. They wait for permission, wait for confidence, wait for the right moment. And before they know it, the chapters are gone, because time never stops turning pages. When you were a child, your story was written with curiosity. You believed anything was possible. You wanted to explore the world, become something extraordinary, change lives. But slowly, the world handed you a different pen, a pen filled with fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being different. So instead of writing your story, you started editing yourself to fit into someone else's. There's one chapter that destroys more dreams than failure ever will. The chapter called, Maybe Later. Maybe later I'll start. Maybe later I'll travel. Maybe later I'll build the business. Maybe later I'll tell them I love them. Maybe later I'll become who I truly am. But maybe later is dangerous, because later becomes next year. Next year becomes someday, and someday becomes never. One day you look back and realize you spent your entire life reading other people's stories while ignoring your own. Think about it. How many people die with unwritten books inside them? Books filled with ideas never created, songs never sung, dreams never chased. Not because they weren't talented, but because they were afraid to begin the first sentence. Here's the truth nobody tells you. You are not trapped in the current chapter. Bad chapter, not a bad book. Painful chapter, not a hopeless story. Every great story has struggle. Every hero gets lost. Every transformation begins with chaos. The strongest people you admire today? At one point they were confused, broken, rejected, invisible. But they kept writing. That's the difference. Your habits write your paragraphs, your choices write your chapters, and your consistency writes your legacy. You don't change your life overnight. You change it sentence by sentence. Small actions, tiny decisions, one courageous moment at a time, and eventually, the person you once dreamed about becomes the person staring back at you in the mirror. Some people stay stuck because they keep rereading old chapters. The heartbreak, the mistake, the embarrassment, the failure. But you cannot write a new chapter if you keep living in the old one. Turn the page. Not because the past didn't matter, but because your future deserves a chance. There are still adventures waiting for you. People you haven't met yet, places you haven't seen, versions of yourself you haven't discovered. Your story is still unfolding, and maybe the best chapter hasn't even happened yet. Imagine the final page of your life. What will it say? Will it tell the story of someone who played small? Someone who spent years hiding behind fear? Or will it tell the story of someone who dared to live fully? Someone who failed, but kept going? Someone who loved deeply, risked boldly, created fearlessly? At the end of life, nobody cares how perfect the story was. What matters is that it was truly yours. because your life was never meant to be copied. It was meant to be written by you. So here's the question. If your life is a book, what will you write tomorrow? A new beginning? A comeback? A dream finally pursued? The pen is still in your hands, and the next chapter starts now. Write a story your future self will